But if I set my beer on them, oh, not gonna open that one. Hey, it's Megan
and Sue in the restricted section,
and today we are doing the Overwhelming TBR Tag.
And this was created by Acacia Ives, and she's also the one who tagged us.
Yeah, so thanks, Acacia.
Yes, and we'll put her video down below.
Yes. And we are going to be drinking Queen City Hibiscus from White River Brewing Company. This is a Belgian-style golden ale.
Check it out. I've been told it's not a sour.
Better not be.
I was concerned because of the hibiscus.
It's a sour.
Oh, it's nice.
It's nice and crisp.
Refreshing.
I like that. And not sour.
Nope, not sour at all. Kind of sweet, actually.
It's
pretty good.
Pretty good.
Alright, so this tag is all about
your TBR.
Your TBR, your overwhelming TBR, which I certainly have one of those.
Me too. It stresses me the fuck out.
So, that's why I had my read books separate from my unread books for a while, and then I had to mix them back together because it was too anxiety-inducing for me to look and see, I haven't read any of these.
Oh, God.
So now that they're mixed together, I can delude myself into thinking, like, I've read like half of those at least.
Yeah.
I haven't.
But you can tell yourself that you haven't, and it makes you feel better.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, hell.
Alright, so the first question is, what book do you keep trying to read?
I said Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky.
Still trying to read that?
I haven't tried to read it in a while, but like, I started reading it and I was like, fuck this. And then I was like, no, you don't DNF books, just try it. And so I tried to read some more of it, and then I was like, no, seriously, fuck this. I don't wanna. Because there's like two storylines, and one of them I find really interesting and I want to keep reading about, and the other one I don't care about at all. So it's like when it switches to that one, I'm like,
Could you just skip the one you don't care about, or would you miss vital information?
I feel like I would miss vital information.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that one.
And I said The Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri. Yeah, I was supposed to read this last year for Adam from Memento Mori. He did a read-along.
Yeah.
And I had every intention of doing that, and I read the introduction, and that's as far as I got.
Okay.
And I've kept saying I was going to read it like every month for several months after that, and then I finally took it off of my Goodreads currently reading and was like, I just need to wait. I'll read it eventually, but it's not going to happen right now.
That's a really cool copy of that too.
Yeah, I love this copy. It's really pretty.
Very pretty. Alright, so the next question is, what covers are begging for your attention?
So, one of the books I have that I love the cover of, and is a book that I do really want to read soon, is Love in the Time of Cholera by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. I just think this cover is really pretty and really neat, and it wraps all the way around there.
It's pretty cool.
And then I also love cheesy covers. And so I just recently got this one at a thrift store, and it's The Lost World by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
Pretty bitchin' dino on the cover.
Yeah, it's got some pretty awesome dinosaur shit going on, so that's exciting. And then my last one is just a really cool metal as fuck cover.
That's a pretty metal fucking goat.
And it's Goat, a memoir by Brad Land. And it's got a fucking goat on it.
Fucking metal as shit.
I've heard that it's not. I've heard like mediocre things about it mostly.
Oh, really?
Well, some people say it's really great, but the majority seem to think that it's just okay. Yeah.
I said Breathers by S.G. Brown, A Zombie's Lament. That's just a cool cover, look at that. And then I read, I think Faded was also by S.G. Brown, and that was just like a really fun, silly, amusing read, and so I figured this would probably be that way as well. Plus, you know, zombies.
Yeah.
Zombies making out on the cover, and there's skulls over here. I'm cool with that.
Next is, what nonfictions make you want to learn more?
Well, I have 2 here that I bought because they're about the war on drugs and the opioid epidemic, which I'm always interested in learning more about. So I have Chasing the Scream by Johann Hari, which I started reading, but I'm barely into. I'm not far into it at all. I'm only like 44 pages into it. And then Dreamland by Sam Quinones. Quinones? Yep. Yeah, that's what we're gonna go with. But yeah, that's just a topic that I'm always interested in learning about.
I read this book a couple years ago, In Order to Live by Yeonmi Park, and that made me want to learn more about North Korea and what it's like living in North Korea. So I found this book at the dollar store and got Dear
Nice.
Leader by Jang Jin Sung. And he was a poet who was very much in favor with Kim Jong-il. And he like wrote propaganda and stuff like that, and then he went out and actually saw how people were living and was like, I can't do this anymore, I gotta get out of here. And he escaped, and this is his story. And I thought it'd be interesting to read another perspective of someone who was kind of more on the inside, and maybe a male perspective as well. So I had that one. And then I also have The Inconvenient Indian, A Curious Account of Native People in North America by Thomas King. And I just think it was good as, myself living in North America to learn more about what actually happened, because they don't really teach you that.
No, they kind of leave the we fuck them over part out of it.
Yeah. They're like, oh, Thanksgiving was great and we shared and everything.
We ate corn and turkey and it was wonderful.
Leave out the part where we killed them all.
Right. The smallpox blankets and, the driving them from their land thing.
Yeah.
That.
I think the U.S. history you learn in school, not so much in college or university.
Uni.
Not so much there, but in grade school and high school and stuff, it's very much a sugar-coated U.S. history.
It's like super romanticized.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's Columbus Day! Yay! Columbus was great!
It was magnificent.
Not so much.
No, he kind of sucked. He was kind of a shit. Alright, so the next question is, what world are you longing to dive into?
I again have a couple answers.
Yes.
First is The World of the Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Jebeki Chambers. I just bought a hard copy of it and also bought the sequel, A Closed and Common Orbit.
Yes.
And I'm really excited to read it. So I have that. Also, I'm planning to buddy read The Lord of the Rings, as well as The Hobbit, with Jessica and Christina over at Game of Tomes. We're starting with The Hobbit next month, and I'm pretty excited to get into this world again. I read The Hobbit last year, so that's more fresh in my mind, but I haven't read The Lord of the Rings since I was a child. So I'm really excited to reread all of these.
Dive back in there.
Yeah. Maybe I'll give the movies another chance and watch them after I read the books.
The first movie is the worst movie because it is the most boring. But the second one and the third one are pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I watched the first movie when I was a kid. I was like 14 or something. And I was like, boring!
Boring!
And I never watched the other two.
Yeah, the first one is like my least fave. I said Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler because I love Octavia Butler and this book just sounds really cool, and I think it's a dyad. I think there's a second book to it, which is probably why I haven't started it yet, because series, and I fucked up and I started a different series, and so which brings me
like 2 or 3 series that I need to finish.
I just I get sucked in and I don't want to.
See, I have almost the opposite problem where I'll read the first book and even if I really loved it, I'll put off the second book and I don't know why.
It's a lot of commitment. But if I like the first book, I'm like, well, I have to know everything now. I
Yeah.
have to read all the things. Which brings me to this one, which is The Year of the Flood by Margaret Atwood. This is the second book in the Mad Adam trilogy. And I finished the first one recently and liked it. And so I would like to kind of get back in that world and read more.
The next question is, what classic is mocking you?
Mocking me. I don't really have much of an answer for this. I was thinking about it and like maybe, I've never read anything by Kurt Vonnegut because he has such a large body of work that I'm like,
Yeah.
how good can it really be if you're that prolific? Like, Jesus Christ. I don't know. Plus it kind of seems like hipstery. I don't know. So
That's
maybe
true.
that.
I've only read Slaughterhouse-5 and I liked it.
Really?
Yeah. And I, again, have two answers because my TBR is just that overwhelming.
It's very overwhelming.
First I have Catch-22 by Joseph Heller. I've owned this book for probably at least 7 years, I think. And it's just been sitting on my shelf laughing at me.
Laughing.
And I don't know why I haven't read it yet. I just haven't done it. So there's that one. And then also Vanity Fair by William Thackeray. It's just so long.
It's long as hell.
I think it's like 800 pages.
God damn.
It's like 800 pages long. So it's very intimidating. I've heard it's really good though.
I heard that as well. But it's very long.
Once I read it, it'll probably be fine, but yeah.
Getting up the gumption.
Yeah. I gotta prepare myself.
Mentally prep.
But I always end up liking long books most of the time.
I do too. If they're really, like, if I am liking the story and it's a good book, I like long books because then I don't finish it and, like, feel like I need more.
It's not complete.
Yeah. What book do you keep forgetting about?
I said A Town Like Alice by Neville Shute. This is another one that I've owned for a very long time. Like, years. And I bought it because I read On the Beach by Neville Shute when I was in like 8th grade, and I fucking loved it. I loved it so much. And I just saw this one at Barnes & Noble, I think, and I'd never heard of this, even though this is actually his more well-known
Oh, really?
book, and I think it's kind of considered a classic. But yeah, so I just picked it up because it was Neville Shute. I was like, oh yeah, I want to read more by him. And then I still haven't read it because I kind of just keep forgetting that I own it.
That's fair.
So I really need to read this. I might read it because one of the book Read Harder challenges to read a book about war.
Oh, yeah.
And this is takes place during World War II, so
that would work.
Yeah.
I said Trainspotting by Irvine Welsh. I've been wanting to read this forever, and I finally bought it because I was looking like in used bookstores and I couldn't find it anywhere, so I finally bought it online. And then I was really excited about it when I first bought it, and then I forgot all about it.
Yeah.
So I haven't read it yet.
All right, the last question is, what book did you promise yourself you'd read ASAP but didn't?
American Gods by Neil Gaiman. This is another one that I was like, I really got to read that, and I bought it, and I was super stoked about it. I was like, I'm going to read this right now. And I didn't read it right now.
Yeah.
So.
And I said The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I borrowed this from Megan probably like a year ago. Have I had this for a year probably?
I've been a minute.
I've had this book for way too long.
It's been a hot minute.
And I keep saying that I'm going to read this one next, I'm going to read it next. And then it keeps getting pushed back. And I think it's partly because I know that it's going to be like a tough read, that it's going to like fuck me up. And so I just am like putting it off because I'm like, oh, that's going to make me feel bad.
It's going to make me feel things.
It's going to make me feel bad things.
I don't want to.
And so I just keep putting it off, but I really need to do it. I was going to hopefully do it this month because I was like on such a reading kick.
Yeah.
That I kind of fell off. Like I started reading The Kite Runner and I've only read like 50 pages. And I've been reading it for like a week. So, yeah. So kind of fell off my reading wagon there. I'm not even sure if I'll finish The Kite Runner by the end of the month. We'll see, because I don't think I'll have much time to read this week.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we'll see. I started reading this one, and I learned about myself that if I'm gonna read a nonfiction book, I have to read something else in conjunction with it, or I'll just stall out on reading. Because I like to read these kind of slowly so that I can absorb them. But plus
I'm kind of like that too, I think.
Yeah. Plus it just gets like a lot, you know what I mean? Like it's just a lot of information. And so I like to break it up with like some fun stuff. Yeah, but that was the Overwhelming TBR tag.
Yes. Once again, we forgot to think of people to tag.
Well, fuck.
So we're going to tag Becca and Mike over at Books and Looks.
Yes. So we're also going to tag Rachel Louise Atkin.
And Richard Reeds.
Yeah. So, have at it, guys.
Yeah. And this beer's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not like my favorite or anything, but...
No, it's not anything like special, but it's like a good, refreshing brew.
So there'll be some links below where you can find us other places on the internet.
And if you're not already subscribed to the restricted section, you should try it.
Try it out.
Try it out. Maybe it's for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.